Shalom, guys. Hey, it's me, Nabiyah from Ruach Karar Fitness, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something this morning. I know you guys are really trying to work out, and like me, got my protein shake, and incidentally, this protein shake is so good that if you're a vegan, you can have this. So it's safe, and everything in it is organic, and I can pronounce everything in it. Um, I wanted to talk to you about um, my subject is called dying on purpose, and the reason why I want to talk about dying on purpose is because there's so much information out here on food products and what's really in your food, especially fast food. I mean, like I was a Wendy's #4 Big Bacon Classic, for a long time, and McDonald's Quarter Pounder with cheese, and I'm like, and then eventually, without me even knowing what was really in it, I just stopped, and I'm glad that I did. And so, the more that I am learning on what's in the food, the more discouraged I was getting. I was just talking to someone yesterday, and it was very discouraging because it's like, well, what can we eat? And some people don't think it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. And sometimes something is bad for you, but you do it anyway. For instance, people used to come up to me and it's like, oh, you got a light? And I would say, I don't smoke. And then they would be like, oh, that's good, that's good. And then they would find matches and they would light up. I'm not understanding. How do you say that's good that someone doesn't smoke and say, oh, I need to quit, but then you just keep pursuing this as though it's not going to have any adverse effects? I believe that if they had pictures of their lungs, they might stop. But when you are feeding your children these fast foods, you're really setting them up for diabetes, heart attacks, death. Some of the things that they put in it, in the food is petroleum. Yeah, like the same petroleum that goes in your car. And so, yes, they're using trace amounts, but some people eat this stuff a lot. And so it has no choice but to build up, build up, build up. And this whole thing with MSG. MSG stands for monosodium glutamate. That should not even be not only in your vocabulary, it should not be in your food. And they're putting it in everything. This is why sometimes your favorite foods are really your favorite food because of the MSG. It's not just in Chinese food, it's in everything. It's in your salad dressing, it's in your cereal, it's in your bread, it's in your pastas, it's in everything. It's in your sauces. It's like it's almost not everything, but almost in everything. In the UK, there's certain things that they stopped using, like red dye #6, yellow number. It's called sunset yellow, and then there's another dye that they don't use because that was in everything. Dunkin Donuts uses it. Sodium nitrate is in the bacon, egg, and cheese, the Egg McMuffin. Um, all of this stuff they're using in the chili, in the in in the chili. They're using hog hair and human hair. They're using sand. They're using, yes, this is true. This is not a joke. I'm not kidding. They're using all of this stuff, and and the salads, even the salads are horrible. They taste great, but there's this stuff that they spray on it so that it lasts longer. I'm going to get you a list of all of this stuff. For those that are really interested. There's even a YouTube video called The 11 Scariest Ingredients in Fast Food. And again, this is not a joke. This is so serious. We eat this stuff and we consume it and we think nothing's going to happen. What happens with MSG, there was a Japanese guy that actually invented it. And they're the same people that's putting out reports saying, oh, it's safe, it's not that serious. But, they're the same people that's selling it. And then, of course, they're going to be the same people that defend it. Also, do you realize that People getting sick is big, big, big business in the United States. It's huge. It's all about the Benjamins. What? It's all about the Benjamins. That's all they care about. People, you have to understand that the things that are in this food cause cancer. So every time you turn around, so and so's got cancer. So and so. We just buried some people this year who died of cancer. And they were so called healthy people because they were eating in restaurants. I don't care if you go to Applebee's, TGIF, they all use it. That's why the food is so good. MSG is designed to make it taste good. Even if you look on the labels and you don't see where it says monosodium glutamate, it hides under other names like natural flavorings. It hides under other names like yeast. It hides under these names. And so when you're looking at, and it could be a trial going to the store and reading the labels, but if you want to live, you have to know what you're putting in your body. We are supposed to be stewards, not just over money, but good stewards over our body, over our temple. And so staying away from all of this stuff, and you're trying to figure out, oh, what can I eat? What can I eat? There are things you can eat. And I always tell people, just eat organic and let it be certified organic. And still turn that around just to make sure they're not sneaking things in. Like I said, I'm going to get a list and get it to you. And it's pretty exhaustive, but it will keep you safer. The organic, people will say, oh, well, it costs too much. Well, it's cheaper than a medical bill. So, I think a few years ago, we just buried a friend that she had brain cancer. She had a tumor in her brain. It was just horrible. And so this glutamate, they say it doesn't cross over to the bloodstream in your brain, but the glutamine does. And they have that in it as well. So all of this stuff with all of these words we can't pronounce, look them up and look up the effects that it has on you. Do you know that a lot of the stuff that they have in this food causes hyperactivity? And then you're wondering why your kids are acting so crazy, why they can't sit still. It's because of the food. Stop taking your kids to McDonald's. Stop with and the things that they put in the French fries. That's why their French fries are so good. The monosodium glutamate, the MSG, makes the food taste good, and it actually, the more you eat it, the more you want to eat it. So the cravings that you have for certain things, or it makes you start to eat real fast, and you just like, oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. How many of us have said that? Oh my God, this is so good. That's why it's so good. First, people thought it was only in the Chinese food, but it's not. And then there was this lady, I read an article just yesterday. A lady was in a Chinese restaurant and they had a big thing on their menu, no MSG. And then she looked and saw somebody carting in, because you'll see when they, bringing in supplies for the food. And it's a big bag going in there saying MSG. So apparently everyone, what? They're not all telling the truth. So you have to ask questions. You have to ask questions. I don't care who it is, what restaurant it is. Cracker Barrel, Applebee's, TGIF, Red Lobster, Golden Corral. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Golden Corral. All of that food, they use MSG. And so they use it not only as a preservative to keep the food longer, but to increase your appetite, to make you want it more. And places like Golden Corral, like really, how can you sit in one place and eat 10, 15 plates of food? It's crazy. It's just crazy. And you just keep going and going and going. And then we sit around like, oh my God, I can't lose weight. Oh, I need to go on a diet. Even look in it. Oh, also, thank you. There's something just came to my brain. Protein isolate. Protein isolate. No. So for all of you that are using protein powders, making protein shakes, protein isolate, that's a no-no. Please, 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 if you are going to die, don't let it be on purpose. Like, don't ignore the messages. All the information is out there. It's one thing that when you don't know, but now that you have heard this, now you are accountable. It's the same thing in the Bible when Yeshua, Jesus, was talking, and then the Pharisees would stop up their ears, la 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 la, we don't want to hear it, we don't want to hear it. And so I'm sorry, I'm always on call. They didn't want to hear it. They did not want to hear it. But you did hear it. So do something about it. And if you don't care about yourself, if you just think, oh, it's okay, it's not that serious, nobody else is dying. Yes, they are. There are plenty in the hospital dying of cancers that they don't know where it came from. They have this thing now where the farmers have to buy seeds. I don't do grapes and watermelon that are seedless because those are called GMOs. GMOs stand for genetically modified organisms. That means it's not real. They genetically changed it so that it can be, it would come forth, but it would come forth with no seeds. Why in the world do I have to buy seeds from you? It's crazy. It's just crazy. So please do your due diligence. There's so much that I could say. But I really want you to do your due diligence. Keep your children out of these fast foods restaurants. Please. Oh, also, it's in the soups. All of the soups, it's in there too. So just check, please. Because even if you think, oh, well, I just won't eat this. It's not. But if you keep piling it on, because it is everywhere, if you keep taking it from here, taking it from there, and little by little, it just adds up. The same thing with parabens. Stay away from parabens. Paraben. It's in hand lotion. It's in moisturizer. It's in your makeup. Look for things that say paraben free. Paraben free. Be careful. Stay safe. I'll be back with some more information. I know you're saying, what can we eat? There are things you can't eat. You just have to look for food that don't have MSG and don't have a lot of these things. But I will upload a list soon. But I had to post this. And so we're gonna get there. Just pray, stay discerning, and be careful. I love you so much. Shalom, shalom.